Okay, welcome everyone. We are
Good
ranking,
evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everybody.
we are tier listing, as the kids are saying it, all the movies that came out in 2021. So we'll just
Your time.
we'll pick a random one. David, you pick pick any movie. You tell me when to stop.
Let me see. Stop.
Quiet Place Part 2.
That's a good way to start.
Yep.
Honestly, I'll say let me look at the list real quick just to make sure I don't say anything too crazy. But I think Quiet Place 2 was one of the movies that impressed me the most this year, just because a lot of movies had so much, just everything this year had a ton of expectation piled onto it. And that was one of the, especially everything that I saw this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the ones that I was kind of worried because the first one was great. I mean, that's going to be one of the most like cult classic horror films of our generation. And it's just a movie that pushed forward filmmaking a lot, especially if you go back and watch it. Just the techniques that John Krasinski used to just put us into a world of no sound
Mm-hmm.
was it was awesome. So seeing a sequel to that picked up everything and I think pushed it forward, made it even better. I loved it.
Yeah, I liked it. I will say the first one, like, I think it really impressed me with like how little sound there was. Whereas I will say for this one, like them having like the room where they can just talk at like normal, like it kind of took me out of it a little. If I don't know, because it'd be like, oh well, like you can just talk normal as long as you're like in this room or whatever and all
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
So I still think it was like very well filmed. I think John Krasinski did a good job. The writing was pretty decent. It was definitely like super suspenseful in some parts. So
Yeah,
I
it
did
was.
like it, but
I'll say the best thing I can say about that movie, especially, is just seeing it in the theaters was just a whole experience.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
Where would you put it personally? I think I put it like high C tier, low B tier.
I C tier, low B tier. Dang, how many? Okay, how many movies do we have on here and shows total?
12, 18, 24, 30. We have 41 movies and TV shows.
Dang, C tier for Quiet Place Part Two. So,
That's
although I
that,
guess yeah,
that's a
I'd
really
give it a B.
solid. You'd say you think it earns the low B?
I think it earns the low B more than the high C.
Okay, that's fair. So we'll put it in B for now, and then like as other we move them up and stuff. Yeah, I'm fine with that. All right, now I'll
Oh
start
yeah,
from
go
the
ahead.
bottom. All right, you just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Bad Batch. Did you watch the Bad Batch?
I started watching it. I didn't finish. Oh
Yeah.
man, I loved the first. I think I saw the first two episodes. I thought it was awesome though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how'd you like it?
Honestly, I think the first two episodes were kind of the peak of it. It
Yeah.
wasn't bad. It was just kind of like generic. Like a lot of like the whole Bad Batch, they're all just kind of like reduced to like one note characters, like the strong one, the leader, the smart one, and stuff. Like there's some good elements in it and stuff, but I feel like it was just kind of bland and like for the most part and very like all right, they got to go do this like mission. They come
Yeah.
back kind of like Mandalorian how it was like got a little
Okay.
repetitive. Like
Yeah.
I think it's going to get better because if you watch like the early seasons of Clone Wars and Rebels, they started out kind of rough and they got a whole lot better. Clone Wars is among there for my top favorite shows, so I think season
Yeah.
2 will be better, but season 1 was a little disappointing if I'm being honest. So, I would
Okay. Yeah.
right now I would
What's
just
that?
put it at C tier.
Mm. Yeah, usually I don't know. Usually, if I'm able to stick with something or not is a pretty good test of for me of how good it is. I'll definitely finish it, but I mean that show, especially too, because that show is supposed to be like Disney Plus's like new like nowadays. This is our version of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it was a little
especially with
disappointing.
how the same. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm sure that's. I mean, that's a show that they can keep going for many seasons, so it'll have time.
Yeah. I hope
And there's
it'll get
definitely a
better.
lot they can do with it. I think I'm excited to see where the story can go with it because there's a lot of lore that we can see, just cool stories and things.
Mm-hmm.
But what we got next? Are you gonna start? Go random.
Yep. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
I guess I'll pick Encanto.
And
I'm out.
Kanto, I did not see that.
All right. So this was Disney Animation Studios' last movie of the year. It came on Disney Plus like on Christmas Day, so my family and I watched it. I liked it.
Mm.
It's a lot of people like really love it, and I don't think I can quite say that. It's got some pacing issues. The music is good, but I feel like it's missing that thing that like makes like great Disney music. Like I can't, maybe with the exception of like one song that I really like, there's not like any, like you can't compare it to like the Lion King soundtrack or Beauty and the Beast or
Yeah.
like Aladdin. So,
Understood.
but I still, it's good. It's got a good message. Yeah, I personally would put it above A Quiet Place too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay. Might give it a
Or,
watch then.
I don't know. It's actually looking. I think it's pretty appropriate actually where it is. So, looking at it,
B
so,
tier is pretty appropriate.
yeah, I think Quiet Place 2 is maybe I just like it a little better because like with the cinematic angles of A
That's,
Quiet Place
no,
2
that's
and all that.
totally fair. No, that's totally fair.
All right, I will be random.
No,
Oh, go
I love
ahead.
hearing your opinion like this.
Yeah.
All right, get us a random.
And
So,
Marvel's What If. Did you ever finish that?
yeah, A tier.
You think A tier?
I would say A tier. Yeah, I love it so much because I read the What If comics when I was a kid. I read a lot of them, dude. I had hundreds of them, and they were the craziest comics you could ever like imagine. Like they were so wild, and I never really expected Disney to ever do anything like that because I was like, this show, it would just seem like a waste of time, right? Because like it wouldn't really mean anything in the grand scope of the universe and everything. So I never thought it would be anything, but I love the way that they did it. You know, they started writing stories that you can tell they're going to continue, and just like super, they paid homage to a lot of their characters super well. I mean, T'Challa's episodes were beautiful, or his one. Yeah, he had 2 episodes. His episodes were beautiful. And just I loved it. It was awesome.
I didn't really care for most of the episodes. Like for me, the episodes kind of ranged from like meh. Like I think the Doctor Strange one was like a legitimately great episode, but the rest were kind of like some of them were like okay, this is kind of cool, and some of them were kind of meh. Like the only thing that I really like about the Star-Lord one with T'Challa is the fact that it was Chadwick Boseman's last performance. But like there's some things in that episode that like really cause you to like suspend your disbelief. Like the whole like talking Thanos out of his conversation or whatever.
See, that really made sense to me though, because I don't know. I just thought the way that they showed it, like, it just kind of shows how a person's character and a person's personality, like who somebody is, really changes the life that they could live. You know?
Yeah,
and
but it's also kind of like trying to like reason with a serial killer. Like the whole idea of Thanos is that he's crazy. Like, and he literally sees himself as like a god that like has to correct this thing in the universe. Like that's that's even the whole point of him. And like even Doctor Strange tried talking him out of it. Like you can't just I don't think you could convince me that like if Ted Bundy was still alive that someone would be like, hey, did you ever just not think about killing these people or whatever? I don't know. I didn't like. I think What If had some really good action scenes, but I would personally put it like at like C tier. I
That
don't
is true.
I don't think I'd put it any lower than C tier because like out of all the Disney Plus shows, personally, it's my favorite. But and I think like
Out of all the Disney Plus shows, it might be my favorite. It might be my favorite too. Actually,
or at least out of all the
I
Marvel
think
ones, out of all of the Marvel
I think
ones.
Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye might be my favorite, honestly, which I did not expect. But yeah, I think C tier is fair. There was some. I felt like some of it was a little bit boring. What if like I don't know. They did too much. Like I didn't really care about Captain Carter that much to see her in 3 episodes.
Yeah, I feel
And
like.
I
Well, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying that like you have like what if like you could literally like you said there's like all these endless possibilities they could choose from and I feel like a lot of them were like just kind of like generic. Like generic
Yeah,
like
like
what if
Captain
one.
Carter.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
they're
Captain Carter is a perfect example of that. Like we could have seen like what if the Hulk was, um, like anything. Like there could have been there were so many crazy ones. Like this is an example that I like to give from the What If comics. One of my favorites was what if Daredevil had a dishonest tailor, and like basically Daredevil was wearing like a pink, blue, and white suit, and like he kept getting his ass kicked all over the city because people could see him. And it was so funny because he didn't know what was going on. And there were like I remember it was what if the X-Men never existed, and there was all types of crazy stuff that was happening. Like basically like what happened was that mutants actually got wiped out, and there was like a war, like a civil war, because certain humans, like after they saw what happened, the humans were like freaked out, and they're like, how could you kill all these mutants? And then there was the other half of the humans that was like, oh, we didn't need them, da da da. And then like people tried to create mutants and then like destroyed the entire universe. It was crazy. It was wild, just like unbelievable. And yeah, that's like a good example. They could have gone a lot further out with it.
Yeah.
But it's also the first season, we'll see. See what happens.
Maybe they'll get a little more bold, but I think it's better than Bad Batch at least because like at least like what if like the Doctor Strange one I think is like honestly some of the best thing that Marvel has put out in general. So
Yeah.
it has my praises on that. Like one thing that's like really great. So I'll give What If that.
I liked the episode about what if all the Avengers died.
Yeah, like I think that one was a good one, and even like the Ultron winning one, I thought that was a good one. The zombie ones, I like the idea, but I feel like it was like not depressing. It wasn't depressing enough for me.
Yeah.
Like
well, I think
like compared to the
I think
Doctor
the big
Strange
point of that
one,
episode was, oh yeah,
like compared to the Doctor Strange one, like that one's like really depressing, and like that's kind of how it's meant to be. Like this guy literally destroyed his universe trying to save the love of his life, and he still like couldn't even like bring her back. So, and like it doesn't end like him like, oh, I'm all happy and stuff. I mean, it kind of does with like him in the later episodes, but
you know what's crazy? And now the more that I think about it, that we talk about it, I feel like the first season was kind of experimental with this show because I think they were trying to see what would work. Like what episodes people would like the best.
yeah,
Because they treated it like an anthology series, where it's not a continuing story, and it kind of allows for you to like find what works and what doesn't. So I hope they take people's criticisms and move forward.
Yeah, I just hope they get more bold with it.
Yeah, honestly, I hope they get more bold, crazy, and adventurous. We could see a lot more.
All right, I just want to knock this one out of the way. Scooby-Doo, the Sword and the Scoob.
I never watched it.
Yeah, it's like your standard Scooby-Doo thing. Like, it's like
I don't know. Okay, a lot of the Scooby-Doo movies have been incredible, though.
yeah. Honestly, it's like it's decently like there's some jokes that are funny from what I remember, but it's nothing like special. So I'd put it like C tier. Yeah, like C tier for me is just kind of like, it's fine, it's good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Actually, saying that I might have to move Bad Batch down to D tier, if I'm being honest.
Is it that bad?
It's not that bad. It's just so disappointing. Like considering like the potential it had.
Yeah.
And it didn't have to be like, you know, the later seasons of Clone Wars good, but I was expecting it a little better. So, you want to do one that only you have seen and you can talk about it?
Yeah, let me see. Did you see The Matrix?
I did not see The Matrix.
Let's go with that one.
All right.
I don't know. The Matrix is kind of hard for me to talk about because the fourth one just really pissed me off, and then it also kind of made me really happy. So I didn't know how to feel, but they gave that movie the 2021 treatment hardcore. I mean, there was like a 45-minute piece of that movie where they're basically explaining why they made it, almost breaking the fourth wall, and it was like the most meta writing I've ever seen in a movie. And it was horrible. It was horrible. It was hard to watch. They were basically, so what they did, they came out with this whole random thing where The Matrix is a video game that was created by Keanu Reeves. They never really explained this, but I think it's kind of interesting what's happening. So, oh god, it's okay. I hate that movie. I hate that movie. I hate that movie. I hate that movie, dude.
Now,
I hate it, man.
Like E tier to me is bad, but like F tier's terrible. So would you say it's F tier?
I'd say it's E tier.
You say it's E
because
tier?
there was some stuff just personally. Because they did give us some moments as a Matrix fan that you love, but at the same time, you know, just come on. Basically, my piece on the Matrix, spoiler free, is it's just really not a good follow up to the first three movies. And I honestly, I'm a big fan of the Matrix movies just because I watched them when I was a kid, and it kind of really opened up my mind. I felt like when I was younger to just think a little bit more openly, and just think about the way the world works a little bit differently, you know, because it's one of those movies that really does show you how the machine works. And I mean, it was the first movie to do that, I feel like. And just The Matrix 4, I think it did that it continued that in a pretty interesting way. So if you're a big Matrix fan, it's worth the watch, but it's really not a good movie. Don't expect too much from it. And enjoy the 45 minutes of the directors explaining why they made the movie.
So still say it E tier.
So yeah, let's give that the
All
good old E tier treatment. It honestly feels like it doesn't even deserve that, but I'm feeling nice today.
A pity.
Just you gotta imagine from my eyes being a Matrix fan, waiting for years for this movie, and then watching it and just waiting 45 minutes of just, oh my gosh.
I mean,
what
45 minutes is like, that's a long time.
It really was for like 30 or 45 minutes of the movie.
Personally, like, for me, if it was me seeing it, I would put that in F tier. If they take that long to explain it,
it's tragic. It's tragic. However, the second half of the movie almost redeemed it, but if they released like a Warner Brothers cut, I'd be happy, because I'm not really happy with the directors at this point. It's just wow. Because you can, just like you described that there was a J.J. Abrams thing that you watched. You said you feel his grubby little handprint over everything. What did you say that about? I forget.
It was
on one of our
podcasts. Impossible, the one he directed, Mission Impossible 3.
Oh yeah, Mission Impossible 3.
Feels grubby little handprints. Yeah,
that's how you feel. Yeah, that's how you feel about this movie. Like, you just. It sucks too, because the directors don't really have, the Wachowskis don't really have a very cool style. I mean, they've only made The Matrix and a bunch of terrible movies. So, I mean, who liked Jupiter Ascending?
I think the 5 people on Tumblr that saw it, I think they really liked it.
Yeah, I think Channing Tatum's his fans, his 13-year-old fans loved it.
And I'm sure he loves his 13-year-old fans just as much. I'm kidding, people. I'm not a
and you know what? I don't even mind.
Calm down. At least that we know of. I wouldn't be surprised. It's Hollywood.
Let's not forget. Let's not forget. Oh man, but I think I honestly I'm not even gonna say that. I don't care if you liked Jupiter Ascending. You're not gonna tell me it wasn't a bad movie. That's all I
I
gotta
haven't
say.
seen it.
But yeah, that's how the Matrix 4 felt. Just grubby Wachowski
Now
handprints
be
all over the place.
careful.
Just hey guys, we wrote the Matrix. You better like this. We wrote the Matrix. I was like, oh my god, just stop.
From one. All right,
All
let's
right,
go
let's go
from
next.
one overly explained science thing to another overly explained science thing. Godzilla Singular Point. It's it's not good. So it's a Netflix series. So it's
What
a
is?
Netflix series of
Oh yeah.
Godzilla released by the original studio that produced Godzilla, and it is way too sciency. Like I'd say I'll say I'm a like at least average intelligence to be humble, but like it was so
Mm-hmm.
much exposition, so much science explaining and stuff that like it just really takes you out of it. I did a video on it explaining about like how it's way too sciencey for this. Like I don't like you can be like a little smarter and stuff and like you know have a little bit, but it's like watching like Bill Nye who snorted after snorting a line of cocaine and he's trying to teach you like the secrets of the universe with oh I can't even think of his name. Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's like they both snorted a line of cocaine off each other's nipples, and now they're like trying to explain the universe to you. It's way too complicated.
What? I can't even. I honestly kind of want to watch it just because that sounds
Well,
absolutely
it's not even
bonkers.
like fun bonkers. Like if it was like fun bonkers, I would at least put it like C tier. But it's kind of
It's not even
yeah,
worth the
it's like
watch
that's
like
just
that.
how much science they throw at you. It's like watching like a high school. It's like being in high school
Uh,
taking a science class. You're like, dude,
yeah, I
you're
like
like, I
high
don't want
school
to watch.
physics.
You're like, I don't want like this much in a Godzilla property.
Yeah, it's. I feel like you're enrolling
Yeah,
in a
I'm
college
already in
class.
college. I don't need more of it. But yeah,
Yeah, I already watched the
yeah.
MCU. I have enough.
But yeah, some people were like didn't like some of the changes and
That's funny.
designs they made. I thought they were fine. It was just it was the it was the too much science jizz. They were just masturbating science all over us. You know, like and just they were the
Oh
boyfriend and
man,
we were the girlfriend and they did not tell us how much science to expect. They did not give us any more.
and
And now we're
the
just covered in science
and, the,
jizz. So,
and it's been a long time since the
yeah.
boyfriend has seen us.
Yeah. Well, from one Godzilla property to another Godzilla property, Godzilla vs Kong. I say this is an A tier movie. It's not hot. It's not high
Yeah,
art,
A
but
tier.
like I think you got to give it credit. It helped bring people back to the theaters for COVID, and it was exactly what it delivered. I do have some issues with it. Like even in the other movies, the human characters aren't good, but at least they had like a basic arc, whereas like the people in here didn't even have it. But at the end of the day, it's Godzilla versus Kong. What more do you expect? Any other thoughts?
The cool, yeah, the cool thing is like with the Godzilla movies, I can tell they're gonna get to a place where they're gonna learn how to make human characters, and they're gonna be able to make the
Mm-hmm.
CGI better. So with where we're already at, like in the past, Godzilla movies have been like epic for their time and everything like that, and I'm just excited to see what they have coming in the future because I know they're planning on a
They're
decent amount more,
planning
right?
them. We're not sure. There's the hashtag continue the monsterverse, kind of like hashtag continue the Snyderverse. Uh, so a lot of
Oh yeah.
people want it to continue, but I honestly don't know. They'd never bombed at the box office, but none of them were exactly like raking in the money. So it's kind
Mm,
of yeah with Warner Bros. So we'll
yeah.
see. I'm not sure if they did end it. I think the quadrilogy that they have, I think it's a solid enough quadrilogy. So
Yeah, I like it. And honestly, I think I just wanted to see, if anything, I just want to see one more of the Godzilla versus Kong, and maybe one more of the Kong movies, because then that
Yeah,
would even it out.
at least one more.
You know what
At
I
least
mean?
one
Because
more.
then we'd, yeah, or at least one more Kong, at least one more Kong. I'd love to see, because I know the originally next movie was supposed to be Kong, King of Skull Island or something like that. I don't know. It was I forget the title, but I thought they had a whole Kong movie planned, that he was going to go to New York and
I
all that.
don't think they have that planned. The rumors are that they're gonna remake Son of Kong, which is like he has like he has like an
Oh,
albino
really?
son or whatever, or like in the original film. So that would be kind of cool to like see them bring that in. Like maybe he adopts like an orphan that he finds like in the Hollow Earth now that that's his home. But we'll see if they
Yeah.
continue. I hope so. I'm not
I'll be honest. I thought the Hollow Earth
yeah.
thing was kind of nuts. I don't know if I was the biggest fan of that for the MonsterVerse stuff,
A
but it
lot of
was kind of
people
cool.
were kind of like hit or miss on it. So
What do you think of the
I
Hollow
thought it
Earth
was
deal?
cool, but it was kind of stupid at the same time. But that's kind of the movie. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
movie
pretty
in a
much how I feel.
nutshell. Like pretty cool, but pretty stupid at the same time. So you know,
It just seems like, okay,
yeah.
Godzilla 2014. I think that movie did
I
characters
think it
pretty
did
well.
Bryan Cranston pretty well, and that's about it. But like, and
Oh
then he
yeah, that's true.
dies.
Maybe I'm
Because
forgetting.
I watched it, and honestly, it's better than originally gave it credit for. I originally didn't really like it,
Mhm.
but I like it more now. But like the human characters are still boring as
Yeah,
tar. Like people rag on King of the Monsters for bad
that is.
characters, but like they have not watched any of the movies in this trilogy then, because none of the human characters are good, with the exception of like two in the entire series.
Yeah, that is true. I think they'll. Yeah, I think the next chance they take, the next big swing they take at the monster films, will be probably some of the
Mm-hmm.
best we'll ever get. Because I mean, they figured out the CGI pretty well. That was one of the bigger problems in the past. Was like the CGI in Godzilla '99 was not
Yeah,
even good for its time. And so then that was like a major movie that everybody was
yeah. That
excited about. And it destroyed. I mean, destroying Madison Square Garden and all that. It
well,
looked terrible.
that's the "Thou shalt not be named" movie among Godzilla fans, because a lot of people don't. That's not even actually considered Godzilla amongst fans, and even by Toho, it's just nicknamed Zilla, because like he gets
Oh
killed by
yeah,
like
that's right.
3 missiles. I think I actually did a video where I counted it. I think he got killed by like 8 missiles or whatever from like a standard like F-26 jet or something like that. But then, like
That's
in the
so funny.
next series of films, like it literally opens with them detonating a nuke on him, and he's just like, "Bruh." So I say, you have any other finishing thoughts on Godzilla versus Kong?
No, I think that's
All
pretty
right,
fair in the A tier.
and this is our personal opinion, people. Mortal Kombat. We'll let you crack that one out. I say let's crack out the ones you've seen, and then I'll do the ones that I've just seen, and then we'll just do the ones that we've both seen.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let me see. Let me see. All right. Combat. Okay. As a kid who grew up on Mortal Kombat games, like hardcore, I loved that movie, man. It was awesome. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a. I'm
A
gonna give it
tier.
an A tier. I had no problems with it. Yeah, I had no problems with it whatsoever, man. And I really expected the worst out of that movie, because the old ones.
Would you put it?
I mean, the
Would you
old
put it
ones.
in front of Godzilla versus Kong, or leave it there? Yeah.
I'd leave it behind. Actually, no, I'd probably. They're about even for me. Actually, if anything, I'd probably say. Do I like Mortal Kombat better? Or Godzilla? I'd probably put Mortal Kombat before Godzilla. Honestly, I loved Mortal Kombat just because it just did everything right. It was so fun to watch. Like the fighting was awesome. I loved the new character that they brought. Like you'd expect the new character to be terrible, but he was actually pretty cool. And just got to see a lot of fun stuff. They set up a good second movie that I'm excited for. And it was just super fun, especially Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which they absolutely nailed. Perfect actors, just awesome. I mean, Joe Taslim and I forget the other guy's name. It's something, but the guy that played Scorpion, they're just watching them fight was so cool. It was so cool, and just yeah, a lot of the scenes were just beautiful. The CGI was pretty cool. It was a good movie. I liked it.
Well, you're banned. You're banned
Yeah.
from the channel, and you're no longer my friend. You chose the wrong answer. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Oh man,
No,
have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. But you said you would put that. You said you'd put
It's
that over
honestly-
Godzilla versus Kong. So I'm like, that's it. You're going straight to hell. You've committed the sin.
You have committed absolute blasphemy
You have.
up on this channel.
I, as the Lord and Savior of this religion, I condemn thee to eternal suffering.
Now you're waiting outside my
Yeah.
house with a gun pointed at me. Oh man, yeah, it was okay, especially because it was a video game movie. That was a big deal to me. It was. I think it's the only good video game movie. No, I disagree with that. I think Tomb Raider 2018 is good too, and people will probably fire upon me for that opinion. But say what you will.
I like Tomb
that
Raider.
movie.
All the actresses they've gotten for Lara Croft are hot. So
Have you seen Tomb Raider
I've seen, like,
2018?
half of it, but
What did you think? I honestly thought it was.
Fine. I refer back to
It was a summer.
I
It was
refer
funny
back to
too.
the hot woman part, but it was fine. It was.
He said I refer
Yeah.
back to the hot woman part.
I refer
Yeah.
back to my misogynistic views upon them.
I think Alicia Vikander was a great choice too. She killed it. She was a good Lara Croft. Anyways, that is not on this list.
Yeah.
Let's find another movie.
Let's do Let's do Captain America: Winter Soldier. From a lot of people that I've seen on the internet, this is
Not Winter Soldier. That's
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Falcon.
From
and
what
Winter
I've
Soldier.
seen on the internet, this is a lot of people's least favorite Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I understand that. It sucks because it feels like nothing happens. And I mean, they did such bland work with the villains. I really expected more. Because I was looking for the sequel to Winter Soldier, which I felt like was an awesome, super cool espionage thriller about Captain America and corruption
Yeah.
and Shield. And that's a lot of those themes were taken forward with this show. And the way they did it, in some ways, was just
That's
super
what I've
boring.
heard. I've heard also a lot of the political overtones were very prominent in this movie and kind of made it very awkward.
Yeah, and it was a bunch there. Yeah, there was a bunch of red, white, and blue BS, and they've done that in the past in Marvel movies, like the little Iron Patriot thing. But they've always made a joke out of it. You know,
Yeah.
they always made it fun. Same thing with Captain America. I mean, they made jokes about him all the time. You're the one wearing stars and
Yeah.
stripes, you know what I mean? And this movie was this show was just yeah, it was just like a political circle jerk on freaking stupidness. And then on top of that, they threw in Black Lives Matter stuff, which kind of felt misplaced because
Build
they
up
didn't
to it or anything.
really they didn't do
Reason.
it for any reason.
Just
really,
have it
other
in
than
there.
other people
Yeah.
were talking about it this year. Yeah, and it felt so weird. They brought this whole new story in with Sam's family and stuff like that, and then they didn't do any of that for Bucky. Bucky just had a therapist, and he was depressed. And I was like, what? What? Why? Why? I thought this was Falcon and Winter Soldier, not the Falcon and some Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I actually
I was
watched the
mad.
first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, but the editing in that first episode was so atrocious that I just couldn't watch the rest of it. So
Yeah. The editing was wow. Yeah.
So where'd you? It sounds like
That
it's
was
like
tough.
no higher than D tier.
It's probably D tier.
From what I've heard,
it's D tier for me.
below Bad Batch probably.
Yeah, I'd put yeah.
It's Bad Batch
That's great.
Falcon
It's a
Winter
fun
Soldier.
show.
I heard it's not good, but I've Bad Batch, like there's at least some good stuff in it. So
I'm telling you right now, I could have made a better Falcon and Winter Soldier. I would have had everything like I would have everything split between flashbacks and current day because they had this old storyline with like super soldier stuff that was like really cool. Honestly, it was really interesting because this is stuff that they're pulling straight out of the comics, like Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America, who like he was Captain America after Captain America died, like in the wars and stuff, and like the government like hid his existence and like made it look like it was all the actual Captain America. And it's like super messed up because he had to like hide the super soldier program. It was crazy, and they did that storyline, and it was cool to see. But then they freaking like threw it away into it. Did you know that Sharon Carter has become?
Yeah, I
now?
heard that. Even like my family liked the show, but they're like that was so stupid.
So dumb, so dumb. Like I hope I don't see her again. Honestly, she's supposed to be the weapons master or something. I'm not interested, guys.
Honestly,
I'm not interested.
I think you could have written all the Marvel properties on here. I think you could have done a better job with all of them, except No Way Home. No Way Home's pretty good.
Yeah, No Way Home's incredible.
You want to get No Way Home out of the way.
Yeah,
I think we
let's just
all
do what
know
we're gonna do.
We are going. Let's not pretend, people.
Yeah, it's time for the. It's the obligatory suck off Spider-Man moment. I mean, just we gotta give credit to what that was in the theater. That was incredible.
Okay,
that was special.
I have seen the movie twice, so I'll defend myself a little to make sure I'm not like, because I do think some people got a little caught up in the hype. But honestly, I think this solved my biggest problem with the MCU Spider-Man, is that he never felt like Spider-Man. The whole point of Spider-Man, it's not easy being Spider-Man. It's always hard being Spider-Man. And like Peter Parker's life kind of sucks because he's not like Superman where he can solve a problem in an instant. He's like constantly balancing to like be able to do both sides of his life. And because of that, he has to make sacrifices. And then in here, spoilers, he makes the ultimate sacrifice by making everyone forget him. And even when he walks into the coffee shop with MJ and Ned, he chooses to, not connect with them because he would just put them in danger and stuff. So I think like overall, and then also Green Goblin as a villain. Man, Willem Dafoe might be my new favorite MCU villain now, because now he's an MCU villain.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, he killed it, man. He did so well, dude. Oh, I love that movie. Was so good. The villains were so well written. Like the story was so touching. Like it genuinely felt like these were real characters going through something. It was crazy. Like everything was focused on the actual problems they were dealing with. And I mean, it felt like a real cap off to an origin story for the MCU Spider-Man. Like you said, him making those hard choices. Like that was one of my favorite endings of a Marvel movie in a long time. Like maybe since Infinity War, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it just wow. Yeah. It set up Spider-Man's story so nicely and just kind of really showed us the hero that he's becoming. Just wow.
Yeah. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Let's
definitely.
We know where this is going. For me, I think there's me personally, I think there's only two other things that are going up in S tier, but we'll see. Let's do Wrath of Man. I know you've said multiple times on this channel that you were kind of disappointed with it.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit, I would say maybe biased because I really love Guy Ritchie, but I feel like I'm not alone in that, and I really expect a lot out of that guy. So when he came out with Wrath of Man, and it just sort of felt like a generic action movie, I was really unimpressed because that's usually the opposite of what he does.
Plus, you pair him up with Jason Statham, like it really should be a layup for him at this point. At least like entertaining, exactly. Like a stylized action movie. But
yeah, exactly. I mean, it was pretty cool. Don't get me wrong, but it felt like oh, here's this generic story about a badass guy, and then here he kicked a bunch of people's asses for 25 minutes. And the action that they built up to throughout the movie was not even cool. Jason Statham is capable of way more than that, man. Like, use him to your advantage.
So would you say that's like high D tier then? Or would you put it low C?
I'd give it
Okay.
give it a C tier. I'd give it a low C. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Flora and Ulysses. The Marvel show that everyone like kind of watched and then everyone just forgot about it. And that's kind of like it's fine. I don't know. Honestly, I would put it like in between D and C tier. The Flora and Ulysses tier.
Yeah.
Ulysses tier.
Flora
I'll just put it right. I'm just gonna leave it right here. It's if you got like little kids or younger siblings, it's fine. There's nothing harmful in it. There's a couple funny jokes, but it's like pretentious but not pretentious. I don't know. Like I think it like wants to say more, but it's not really saying anything more. But it's not annoying. But it's not like annoying about it. I guess it's kind of like fluff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I'll put it in low C tier. I do remember it being actually pretty funny. Like more like.
Is it worth the watch? Is it worth the watch for me or no?
Probably not. Like, I think it's like a good like a decent family film. Like, there's enough jokes for there. Or like maybe like if you have like a group of friends and stuff. But like, I don't think it's something you can really watch by yourself and you're gonna be like, oh man, that Flora and Ulysses, like, what a wacky duo. It's fine.
All right, what do we have next?
Tell us about about Nobody. I wanted to see this one, but I never got the chance.
Fun movie. It was awesome. It was super cool. It was exactly what you wanted. It like, especially because that guy is a fan. That actor, I forget his name, but he's a fan favorite from playing Saul, and he honestly steps up pretty well as an action.
That's what I heard.
Guy as an action actor. And it's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny because they still didn't take it too seriously. Even though he did like pretty surprisingly well. Like I would have believed it if they took the movie more seriously, but they didn't, and that's what I loved about it. That's what made it fun. And I'd probably give it a see where we're at. I'd probably give it an A tier. I'd probably put it above.
Oh, you put it above Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, I don't know about above Godzilla. It's probably fair with Godzilla, but it's a good movie. Actually, I put it above Godzilla.
Technical
that was a good
issues.
One. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I heard. I heard it's not quite as good as the John Wick movies, but like still really solid.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Yeah, it's not like John Wick crazy, but it's good. And I think honestly, they should.
They probably will. I mean, it's the same like director, choreographer. It's like the same team that made John Wick, so it's not super surprising that.
Yeah, I want to see them. I want to see them make more stuff, but I want to see them get a little bit more creative with their approach. So hopefully, because that's one thing. I think the one thing that fails with that movie is that they. Actually, no. I just think that's one thing that would fail them in the long run is if they keep trying to make movies exactly like John Wick. Because you guys, I mean, remember when they made Atomic Blonde, and that's the same people from John Wick as well. Some of them. Like, that movie was pretty cool and everything, but it's just like a generic action movie is what it feels like at a lot of times. And plus, it's way overcomplicated.
That's kind of what I heard about it.
And that movie, that movie was supposed to spawn like a TV show or a sequel. And it never worked out. I don't remember what it was. But, yeah. All right, on to the next. Definitely recommend watching, though.
Tell us about Snake Eyes.
Snake Eyes was amazing. I loved it, honestly. It wasn't... Okay, actually, maybe not amazing. I'd probably give it a...
Or C.
B tier. B tier. I'd give it a B tier. I like that movie a lot. It was super cool. It was just a beautiful looking movie. The
Would you put it
writing was
above
good,
Quiet Place Part 2?
and oh wait, it's on the same
Yeah.
level as Quiet Place Part Two. Yeah, put
Okay.
it on C tier. Yeah, never mind. Put it on C tier. I did enjoy the movie. I'd call it a high
Okay,
C.
would you put it at the front of C tier then? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I liked that.
Uh,
But yeah, it was super.
yeah.
It was super fun.
You're like, oh wait, same level as Quiet Place Part 2. You're like, eh.
Yeah, not gonna work.
We had it pretty balanced for a little bit, but now it's like C tier. So, Ghost.
All right, how many?
Uh,
How are we doing? What we got?
I think we're like not quite halfway, so we'll speed it up a little with some of these ones.
Cool.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah.
It's just the first Ghost. It's just the
I didn't
first
see it.
Ghostbusters again. I'd say the only
Really?
good thing about it is that there's a couple decent jokes, and like I think the emotional beat of it at the end, I think that's like it's a really strong suit. But other than that, it's just another. I mean, it's better than the 2016 one, but that's not exactly like that's like outrunning the disabled kid. You're like, ooh, you're not exactly Usain Bolt, yeah.
Special.
I don't know. Like it has good intentions, so like I feel bad putting it low, but like I don't know. I'll put it above Bad Batch at least.
Hello.
Yeah.
Above Bad Batch. Yeah. Wait, which one is? Hold on, sorry. I lost connection.
This
for
is
a sec. Which one
Ghostbusters
is this?
Afterlife. You didn't see that one, right?
No, yeah. You said it's above
Yeah.
Bad Batch, though.
Like I said, like I think the emotional ending,
Okay.
the emotional beat at the end, I think is like the saving grace. And it is like a well-intentioned movie. Like you can tell like it pays a lot of respect to the Ghostbusters movie, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of the problems that I still have with like the Hollywood remakes where it's just the same movie with a new coat of paint and all that. So, I don't know. I feel bad
Yeah,
putting it
it's
that low because you can tell that like they were trying to be respectful and pay their respects for the original movie, which is a great movie by the way. But yeah, I don't and like when it
yeah.
comes to movies, like good intentions just aren't enough.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun movie, and I'm sure it'll be like it'll be a good watch with
Yeah.
the girlfriend. But I didn't have high hopes for it. Ghostbusters is something that I think they should just let the classics be the
Yeah,
classics and
they're
let it
never
be.
gonna. Honestly, the first one might be like at least like when it comes to pacing, like perfectly paced, like as a movie can get. No Time to Die, Mr. Bond. You have glowing reviews for this one, don't you?
Um,
I guess you can tell your story. I'll wrap up the portions of the stuff I've seen until we can get him back. Monsters at Work. Kinda generic and not really funny, but it's like Ghostbusters but better. So I'll put it in low C tier. It does have a nice heartwarming ending that connects into the original trilogy. Vivo. It's a solid little movie. I think the songs in this are much better than in Encanto. Lin-Manuel Miranda's fine. I personally like it more than Encanto, but I know that's an unpopular opinion. So now I'm just gonna have all the Bruno stans come and murder me in my sleep. So bring it on, fools. Wish Dragon. Honestly, I really like this movie. I think it's the best out of like all the Sony animated Netflix movies. I think it is a little bland looking sometimes, but like the character movement and animation I think is done super well. So I think it's a good solid movie. My Hero Academia season 5. I like actually was it 2020? I don't know. I just started watching My Hero. I'm not a huge anime person, but I like this enough. I say it's had some pretty good episodes. I'd say it's a solid B tier. I'll put it there. Mitchell's versus Machines. Pretty sure David didn't see that. Early, honestly, folks. Only thing, comedy and the animation. The rest of it's kind of like, eh. I don't know. Katie's kind of annoying to me. I feel like she's way too mean to her dad. But yeah. Luca. I was actually thoroughly pleased with this one. Actually, I'd say Luca's A tier. Solid A tier. I don't know how David would compare it to Mortal Kombat, but we will not know because he just died, or I don't know. I know he was having connection issues earlier, so maybe that's it, or maybe an emergency came up. But yeah. Pacific Rim: The Black. I did a review on this, which none of you watched, so now's your chance to atone for your sins, people. Uh, it had some like good character moments. So I will put it. It honestly had some like pretty good character moments. So I'd say it's at least high C tier. My only complaint is that the robots do move a little too fast, kind of like an Uprising. I get it's like mostly because of the animation budget, but it does bug me a teeny bit. So, and I think some of the ideas that they go for are like a little too crazy, like the boy being able to transform into a kaiju is pretty silly. So, yeah. Troll Hunters Rise of Arcadia. This is F tier. For those of you that have watched like the Tales of Arcadia, which is Troll Hunters, Wizards, and Three Below, all pretty good series on their own, and they all tie into each other. It's a series produced by Guillermo del Toro, and they all come together, but unfortunately, it just kind of falls apart in this movie. They decide to do big spoilers for this, but honestly, they managed to do the near impossible, which is ruin like all 3 shows with this movie. And you think I'm exaggerating, but they pulled like the whole time travel crap. And the main character Jim is a troll hunter in this series, for those of you that don't know. And he puts it back at the beginning of like the first episode of the series of Troll Hunters, which was the first to air. And it's like he never did it because in the end of the movie, a lot of people die. So like the idea is that he goes back to release to prevent people from dying. Well, the problem is like then he makes his best friend Toby, who's like this chubby little brace kid, who's definitely not a hero type, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of, yeah, that for those of you that have seen the shows and watched the movie, you know why this is a bad movie. So I'd say check out the shows and then just don't check out the movie. Just pretend the movie's not canon. So there we go. Heroes Rising for My Hero Academia, the movie. Good. I liked the movie. It had some pretty cool action scenes and some nice little character moments. I put it above Mitchell's versus Machines. I think Mitchell's versus the Machines is. I also actually would put it over season 5 as well. I think Mitchell's versus Machines is like one of the most overhyped movies of all time. I still think it's good and I like it, but people treat this like it's the second coming of Jesus Christ. So, I think that's all the shows. Actually, David hasn't seen Arcane, but that bad boy's going up there. I highly recommend Arcane if you haven't seen it already. It does everything that modern Hollywood wishes they could do uh, in terms of good writing, good world building, likable characters, strong independent women, diverse casting, LGBTQ. It has everything that Hollywood wishes it was, but cannot achieve. So, yeah, that's I cannot sing on like it sounds like I'm bored, but I'm more just tired and I'm rambling and I don't got don't got my buddy to co-host. So, but honestly, Arcane I think personally for me, I gotta put it above No Way Home. That's pretty high praise from me, considering how Dave and I were just sucking off No Way Home about like 15 minutes ago or whatever. So yeah, I'll just end it here, and then I'll for editing, I'll just cut to when David and I finish this up with the movies that he's seen and the shows and movies that we've both seen. So
All right, let's see. Let's go after some stuff that we saw together. How about Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's an A tier. What do you think? I see you in B tier. You're scared?
I mean, I just put it right here for now, but I just rewatched it and I didn't really care for it as much as I did the first time.
Dang, really?
Yeah, I still think it's fine, but like, I don't know. I just didn't really care for it as much this time because I just rewatched it because I plan on doing like a review for it and stuff. So
That's cool, though. I'll see.
I'd be fine. I'd be fine with putting it like mid B tier.
Mid B tier. I'd say. Okay, I haven't seen a lot of this stuff on B tier.
Yeah.
So that ranking is gonna fall with you. I'd say.
I guess for you, did you like it more than A Quiet Place 2, or did you like A Quiet Place 2 more?
Hold on, I'm trying to look at everything that's up here.
Because me personally, I probably would put it like high C tier, low B tier.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I could work with that.
I think I kind of, I don't know. I like Mitchell's versus Machines, but
Let's see.
I
got Venom 2. We got Invincible. Got Squid Game. Doom. No Time. F9. Okay. All right. Yeah, I could see that. That's pretty fair. It's a B tier.
Yeah, because I think it has some like.
It has some good moments, but it has some generic kind of run of the mill superhero movie themes that kind of just get lost in the sauce. But dang, I did really like Shang-Chi though.
Yeah.
I'd give it a low A tier on my scales actually.
Yeah.
Better than A Quiet Place 2 though. No, I'd probably give it a B tier. Yeah.
Would you say you like The Quiet Place 2 more? Probably.
Although now that I look at it, I feel like Mr. Nobody and Mortal Kombat were not as great as A tier. Because I feel like they weren't better than Shang-Chi or A Quiet Place 2. Okay. Honestly, I definitely think A Quiet Place 2 is better than Mr. Nobody and Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Would you put... I'll move Shang-Chi up here because like I'm kind of curious on your ranking for out of these four.
Yeah, I think it'd go like that for me. It'd probably go Quiet Place, Shang-Chi, Nobody, and then Mortal Kombat. Because I was really impressed with Mortal Kombat, primarily just because it was a video game movie that turned out to be pretty good. But that's kind of a bias at the same time. It doesn't make the movie inherently great.
Yeah, you're like it's good for this thing, like for this genre of movie.
Exactly, yeah, and it's definitely not better than A Quiet Place 2. I loved A Quiet Place 2. I think that's a pretty quality movie. It definitely isn't as great as the first one, but...
Would you... I'm curious, now I kind of want to more hear your opinion. Would you put Quiet Place 2 in low A tier? Or do you think it's solid where it is at B tier?
I really liked Quiet Place Part 2, man. I honestly think it may be low A tier.
All right.
Do,
I can
do
get
you, can, you,
behind that.
can you get behind that? Can you work with that?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just thought like I don't know, just the style with it, and I don't know. It kept a good pace to the story. You know, like it didn't seem like it missed a beat without having John Krasinski, and I thought that was going to be tough for them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, just the characters. Yeah, it was part of it. Made just that movie was just crazy in the theaters, and it was. I love John Krasinski's directing style. I don't know. There's something about it that he does that's just really, dude. Just it's so crazy. Like it freaks you out, but like keeps you sane at the same time.
Yeah, I think he does a good job directing. And
No.
honestly, my biggest issue is probably more. It's not really the dialogue. I think the dialogue's fine. It's more just like certain parts of the story. It's my only big issue is like that they talk a lot more, so it doesn't feel like
Yeah.
there's as an urgency. And like the fact that they have like the sound device weapon, like the hearing aid, and they can just basically stop them like
Yeah.
instantly. So they're almost
The
not a
humans
threat.
started to. I think they maybe should have saved that to like. I don't know, just to keep the
More
pacing
intense.
a little. Yeah, just
Yeah.
a little bit more intense and more true to the first movie, because the first movie was kind of more like that. Like I don't know, the first movie just goes freaking crazy. Like it doesn't really miss a beat with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we have next?
Let's do Free Guy. I think Free Guy's A tier at least.
A tier, yeah. I think maybe low S tier.
Low
I
S
think that's
tier.
I think it's a great movie, honestly. I love that.
Honestly, I could get behind low S tier. I was genuinely shocked how good it was, because like I was expecting it to be like a fun little action movie with like some decent jokes, and that's like it was that, but I feel like it was a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So
I believe
it
that
had
movie
like a
is
really good message.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anything on this list will be like any like that goes in S tier. I wouldn't put it any lower than Free Guy. I think Free Guy's the lowest of S tier, but yeah. we did that one pretty quickly.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that, because I think everybody kind of just like expected it to just be like a one-off fun like comedy movie, but
yeah.
I don't know, just has modern classic vibes to me, you know? Like
honestly, yeah.
That was a good one.
And it kind of in a way it kind of reminds me of Mitchell's versus the Machines, where it kind of tackles like modern stuff, but I think Free Guy does it better than Mitchell's versus Machines, at least like in terms of like modern comedy and stuff. Like I mean, this is probably the closest we'll get to a live action GTA movie. So
yeah, that movie was that was great, man. That was a great movie.
What about Dune?
Dune, man, I liked Dune. I think maybe a high B tier or low A. I'd give it a low A tier.
Low A
I put
tier.
it above Quiet Place Part 2.
From what I've seen, like I've heard story-wise and character-wise it's good, and then like visually it just looks amazing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've heard that the only thing holding it back is like one of its strong suits is that the fact that it's one part in a obviously multiple part movie series, because you can't, because there's so much to cram in from the book that you can't just put it all into one movie and have it be good. So
yeah, it's nuts, man. That's the whole story behind it is just insanity. I think it's low A tier.
Would you say it's above Quiet Place 2?
Honestly, yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I would say so. That movie was cool. It was awesome.
I am gonna watch it. I plan on reading the book first, and then I'm gonna watch it. But
I like that. I like that. Yeah, it was just a really hard movie to do because it had so much pressure on it. Like the original one was a bomb at the box office, and everybody hated
Yeah.
it. And those books are super iconic. So, with all those expectations riding on their shoulders, I think it's pretty awesome. Especially
Yeah.
because I think that the way that they handled the story, awesome. I mean, the cast is a bunch of great actors and actresses, and yeah, it's a beautiful movie.
I mean, it's the same guy that did Blade Runner 2049, so.
Yeah, it was a perfect setup too. He's the perfect guy for that. That's a layup. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I want to get this one out of the way.
Oh yeah.
I know you and I hold similar feelings towards Black Widow, but I'm curious on if your feelings are as strong as mine towards it. Because I think Black Widow is easy F tier. Like out of all these, Black Widow's I would rank it as the absolute worst.
Yeah. Throw it in the F tier, please.
Yeah.
I think that's all.
Troll Hunters. Yeah. They're like, all right, Black Widow, it sucks. Moving on.
Troll Hunters.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with the Netflix series?
I think I am with it's a DreamWorks series.
Yeah. So it's like 3 multiple series like intertwined, and this was like the movie that like brought them all together. But in short, they basically pulled like a time travel, and they basically go back to like the first episode of the very first series, and basically make it so none of it happened. So literally all the character development, everything that every character went through in all the series means nothing because it's like it never happened.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Where's
honestly,
I don't see
that might actually, I think that's worse than Black Widow, because Black Widow was like I like Black Widow as a character, but like she was never my favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Troll Hunters, it's by no means my favorite series, but like I was pretty invested in this series, and to see that like crash and burn so hard, just disappointing.
That's heartbreaking. I remember seeing a couple episodes of it. It looked pretty cool.
No, it's a pretty solid. It's a definitely a solid series. A lot of people that have watched it, they usually put it in their like top 10 animated Netflix series. It's usually like either number 1 or number 3 or something like that. It's pretty high among people.
Okay. All right, what else do we have? Invincible. Let's get that one out of the way. I think we know where that is.
I think that's S tier.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, I think it's I would put it at the highest. It's probably my new all-time favorite show. Arcane's pretty close though. I really did like Arcane.
Okay, I would have to put it behind No Way Home, but I could agree. Dang. Yeah, I'd have to put it behind No Way Home though. On my rankings, it's up on the S tier.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
Arcane
I liked Invincible more than Arcane. I still really liked Arcane, but
yeah, I think that works. I'm gonna give Arcane a watch though. I'll probably start it pretty soon.
Yeah. Let me know what you think of it, because it's it's a good one.
Yeah, it looks. I saw some of the animation. I saw a couple clips of it. All right, let's see what we're saying about what's the notice on Red Notice.
I think it's like your standard fun action movie. I'd put it like high, like I'd put it high C tier.
Okay,
it's nothing great, but
I would call it a modern Indiana Jones, but I'm crazy with it. No, I'd put it low.
Your microphone's kind of muffled.
Oh, sorry. Modern Indiana Jones.
Before the new Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. But yeah, Red Notice was fun though.
Yeah,
it was cool seeing them together. I'd probably put it behind Quiet Place 2 for sure.
You put it that high?
No, I'd put it above Quiet Place 2.
Really?
And Dune, yeah.
You like Red Notice more than Shang-Chi?
Yeah, I just really liked it because like I expected that movie to be like super like The Rock-y and like take itself way too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like it made fun of itself in a couple ways that made me able to accept it, and everything other than that was just so cool to me. I just loved it. It was fun.
Mm-hmm. I think The Rock and Ryan Reynolds had some good chemistry. Also, I
Yeah.
will say this movie like had some really great action shots, like the camera following Ryan Reynolds as he's like climbing up all over this stuff. I was thoroughly impressed, as I was not expecting like some really good cinematography in this
Hmm.
movie. So
Yeah, and it
yeah,
was the first movie to come out of The Rock's production company that he just started last year.
yeah,
Um,
and it was the highest grossing movie of Netflix, or
yeah,
most viewed, I think.
yeah, most viewed
However they
Netflix
measure it.
movie of all time,
Yeah,
which is yeah,
that's insane.
it was incredible. And I loved that movie a lot. It's one of my favorite movies now. It's definitely up
Plus,
there for
plus, it's got some Gal Gadot, which I love. I love me some Gal Gadot.
you. Love you. So, I'd put it above Dune too.
Really?
Yeah. I would put it above Dune, honestly. You gotta let me know what you think about Dune when you see it, because I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, feelings, and inspirations.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where are we at next? Venom.
Yeah, let's do Venom. I know you weren't really a fan of Venom, too.
I liked it. I think I do. I liked Venom. I could probably say B tier.
Yeah, I'd probably put it low B tier, but I'd say B tier.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Shang-Chi is better than Venom?
Uh, I mean, like from like story and characters, yeah, but honestly, I liked Venom more than Shang-Chi. Like Venom, it's kind of like Red Notice, where it knows the movie that it is.
Yeah.
Like it's a really short movie. You can kind of tell they cut a lot of stuff out, but they
That
left
those
it
were the
for like a lot of the like action scenes and stuff, kind of like Godzilla versus Kong.
yeah.
So
I am glad that they did that, because I know that they probably did it to avoid the movie, just drawing along, taking itself too seriously, and just giving us too much that we didn't care about. So
yeah.
it's
Plus,
probably a blessing.
I thought the action was better in this movie than the first one. I don't really care for the first one. It's just kind of to me.
Yeah, the first one. It's not anything crazy special.
Like, there's a lot of people that loved the first one, and then this one comes out, and they're like, "I hate this one." I'm like, they're like the same movie, like in terms of quality at least, but I think this one's better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel pretty much the same about both of them, because I liked the first one a lot more than I felt like. Actually, no, people liked the first one. I was a
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people really liked the first one, but hated this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like as like general audience members.
I could see that. Yeah, that's.
I think they were
I
just
thought.
disappointed because like you have Carnage in the movie, who's like a notoriously violent character in the comics, and then he's given PG-13 treatment. So
Yeah, that's true. Wasn't the first one rated R? Or no?
no, it was PG-13 too.
Oh, it was. Yeah, that's kind of tragic.
Which I get that. I didn't grow up reading any Carnage comics, but I can get that frustration.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, I
Yeah.
think like for a PG-13 rating, I think they got about as much as they could in terms of violence and stuff with Carnage. So
I liked it. It was
yeah,
nothing too not too much to talk about with it, but
yeah.
yeah. Let's see what else we got. Let's do.
You're muffled again.
Let's do Suicide Squad.
All right.
Where we're at
After
with
this,
that.
I want to knock out. I want to knock out those the Marvel shows because
Okay, yeah.
yeah. Suicide Squad. What'd you think of it, David?
Um. Honestly, I'd say behind Quiet Place 2. It was fun. It was funny. It was super funny, honestly. It was like one of my favorite superhero movies to come out of the past few years, but I don't know. It also had some moments that kind of just felt like rinky dink, like dollar store superhero movie type stuff. And that stuff just like kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. Because James Gunn, granted, he does have his style and everything, but sometimes I think in that movie he took it just a little bit too far to like just make a joke out of everything.
Yeah.
But it also was really funny, and I mean, it turned out to kind of retcon the old Suicide Squad movie in a way that like kind of made me forget about it and not even care that they were trying to retcon it. And then I was just like, well, hey, this is kind of just a dope superhero movie now. So yeah, I liked it. The action was like the cinematography and the action were spot on. It was just fun watching all the characters just freaking beat the crap out of each other in like the stupidest ways. In the stupidest ways, like that rat guy, and just so many. Like he picked so many of the dumbest characters to throw in there. So the
Yeah,
way,
I know.
especially the way that it marked up after the last one, yeah, that was pretty solid work.
I know James Gunn was given the ability to kill any character except Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Warner
right.
Bros. Is like, yeah, you can kill any character, but you can't kill Harley Quinn.
So he just kills everybody.
Yeah, because like Harley Quinn's like the face of the DC universe now or something. I don't know.
Because she's all they got.
Yeah.
Like, please, she's all we have.
Um.
I'm so disappointed for the DC universe for 2020. I'm just so disappointed.
Yeah.
They're retconning everything just all over. Oh my gosh. Terrible. Terrible,
Say
terrible.
what you will about Marvel, but at least they have a plan. You may think it's a terrible plan, but it's not like DC's is exactly faring any better.
Yeah, DC is like the ship with a bunch of freaking holes in it, and it's all flaming, and the tea is being stolen from it.
Yeah.
And Marvel is like the big East India Tea Company ship with the nice cannons on the sides, and all the wine in the bottom of the cellar, and all the rum.
The rum. I will say this about Marvel: while I think Black Widow is the MCU's like worst movie, it's still not as bad. Like Marvel's worst still is not as bad as DC's worst. I'll say
Which one?
that.
Which one did you say is Marvel's worst?
I think Black Widow. Black
Oh
Widow's
yeah,
my.
yeah,
I think Black Widow.
yeah. Black
Everyone's
Widow.
like Captain Marvel. I'm like Captain Marvel's just boring. It's not
Yeah,
good, but it's not terrible.
yeah. I think definitely Black Widow.
Well, talking about some questionable morals, let's go from Black Widow to WandaVision. I was honestly digging WandaVision like really a lot up until the last episode.
Yeah, the yeah, I saw a meme the other day that was comparing the last episode of WandaVision to a Disney Channel original movie,
Yeah.
and I can't look back. That it was yeah. I'm not really excited for Agatha House of Harkness either, to be honest.
No, I
It's
literally don't know why. Well, I know why they're making that show because of money. But
Mhm.
like really, do we need a whole show about Agatha? Do we really care about Agatha? She
Yeah,
had a catchy
it's not
song
even
and
gonna.
now
It's
you
not
have
even
one
gonna
catchy
be about
song
it.
and then all of a sudden everyone wants to like we need to know her origin story. Like we saw her origin story. End.
There's, there's no
Done.
way they're gonna make it about her, man. I hope they gotta do. I think they're gonna do something because here's what they're setting up. You know, you have Blade, you have Moon Knight, and you have Doctor Strange with this multiverse of madness, and plus Mephisto has been hinted a lot, or at least House of M type of events have been hinted at a lot. So I think they're setting up a lot of the dark magic stuff like werewolves and vampires and all that in the MCU. And I think that's what House of Harkness is going to set up because I think Moon Knight is going to run into something like that, vampires and werewolves, because he always did. And then House Agatha is going to release something like that into the. So I think they're just going to use it to set something up like that, and then we won't have to deal with her again.
Yeah.
Hopefully. because Marvel's getting scary with the villains. They were doing good for a while, but they're getting terrifying. Again, like I do
Yeah.
not want to see Agatha again. I don't want to see Sharon Carter anymore.
Yeah. I mean, Wen Wu in Shang-Chi was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a pretty good story.
He was a pretty good villain.
Mhm.
I do think they
like
when I rewatched it, I'm like they kind of like try to redeem him as he's like getting his soul sucked. I'm like, nah, this guy's a bad dude. So
yeah, that's right.
they're like playing the sad music as he's getting his soul sucked up. I'm like, no, this wasn't a good dude.
Although,
Like, sorry.
dude, there's big news though. Did you see that the writers from the Daredevil and like Defender shows are coming to write Echo for Disney Plus?
I actually did see that, which that gives me hope because I've heard a lot of people say Daredevil isn't just one of their favorite, like I've heard a lot of people say Daredevil is their favorite Marvel property, period, and that it may be that it's some of the strongest like examples of television, period. I've heard great things about Daredevil.
Yeah, those writers are powerful, man. I've watched a lot of breakdowns of those episodes of that show because I was obsessed with that show when I was a kid. Daredevil, and I'm really excited because Echo, her whole story is connected to Wilson Fisk and Kingpin and the Hand and Daredevil, and I think they're gonna bring in a lot of stuff that's just gonna be cool to see. I mean, dude, Daredevil, Blade, and Moon Knight, that's gonna be sick, man. I hope we see them all together. That'd be so awesome.
Because we would have Charlie Cox, Mahershala Ali, and
Oscar Isaac.
Dude, I just honestly,
be a dope team.
I just kind of want to see those. Like, I don't care about the new Avengers. I don't care about Brie Larson or girl version of all the other characters. Yeah.
Natalie Portman as Thor. Like, there are. Oh my gosh. We are
so
very
WandaVision.
We are very misogynistic on this channel, by the way.
Yes.
Disclaimer: we are not. I'm kidding. It's just it. I don't know. It's just like I just wish they hadn't done it in such point where like it doesn't make any sense that Sharon Carter would become a villain. It really doesn't. She was so good before. She was so good. She almost sacrificed everything to help Pat in like every mission he ever asked her to help with. You know, like in Civil War, she was just like, "Oh, Pat, you need help? Well, I'm here."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now she's just like, you know what? Screw Pat. Or screw Cap.
Have you been saying Pat?
I think I said Pat multiple times. I have a coworker named Pat. And that's
You're like, Pat, come over here. Pat.
But
Pat.
It's so dumb, dude. And they just like did it in the stupidest way. Okay. Now here's what they could have done. Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America that got screwed over by the U.S. government, that would have made sense for a villain.
Yeah,
that would have
then
made
he would
sense
have
for a
like,
villain. Yeah, he's a super soldier. He has a reason and a motive to hate anything that's bannered with all that Star and Captain America BS. And I mean, he's got these superpowers. Okay, say Hydra approaches him and they're like, "Hey, we want you to tear down the government." That would have been, that would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the weapons master. Okay, I'm kind of thinking about this now. What do you think the weapons master? What do you think she has in store for us? Honestly, because that's what her character is.
Probably nothing interesting. They could probably. What do you think? What do you think is gonna come from her? Probably nothing. Like boring stuff. I don't know. Maybe they could set up like some advanced tech, like the android or something, or maybe MODOK or something, like the parts to make MODOK. But I highly doubt it.
That's actually a cool theory to make MODOK. That'd be awesome. Dang. Okay, if she did, okay, I would forgive Marvel for that. I'd be like, all right, you guys, you did something good here.
But on the same hand, they could have had like literally any other character do that same thing. Like, there's no specific reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
honestly, I did I did really like Echo in Hawkeye. I'm excited for her show. I think it's gonna be good. Her fighting and stuff was super good, and I like the they have a deaf character. That's cool.
And she actually has a prosthetic limb. All right. Where'd you put WandaVision? I personally would put it behind Bad Batch and Afterlife, but
Yeah, it wasn't that special.
again, I think it kind of shows how important it is to stick the landing for a show.
Yeah.
Because like that and Game of Thrones both crashed and burned and stuff, and yeah, WandaVision's a hot mess.
Yeah, it's real cool. I think WandaVision,
I think they kind of knew that it wasn't going to really make too much sense. So I think they just ran with it and were like, all right, we're just going to make it cute and touching and the kids will like it. And then it's going to set up a bunch of really cool stuff that we're going to throw to all the real fans in a few months from now.
Yeah. So, I just know they, I can sense J.J. Abrams' essence in WandaVision, though. Because he's done like a TED Talk about the mystery box, where it's like like something that he uses for filmmaking, where it's like, ooh, what's in this box? It could be anything. And so because of that, the mystery surrounding what's in the box, like the anticipation's like super high. So you're like, ooh, what is it? But then J.J. Abrams has admitted he doesn't even know what's in the mystery box. He just uses it as a thing to like draw in people. Like he said he used that for Force Awakens. With like there's so many different things. Like how was Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber retrieved? Like all these things, and then it's like, good question for another time. So,
man, that honestly, that is a very, very, very terrifying approach to take to a cohesive story.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. I think that's a good description for WandaVision too.
Yeah.
All right, what have we got? Loki?
I was saying Hawkeye because you were mentioning Echo and stuff.
Hawkeye? Okay.
I know you really liked Hawkeye.
Yeah, I enjoyed Hawkeye. I think it just felt like classic Marvel, you know? I expected like Haley Steinfeld to just kind of be like, you know, just kind of like do a run of the mill like I don't know. I didn't even expect that out of her. I just didn't really expect a crazy, like, fun performance or anything that I was going to expect more of or want more of. Mm-hmm. But I honestly, like, seeing her and Hawkeye together and her and Yelena Belova together, I was like, okay. I was like, I kind of like Kate Bishop. And her story, too. Like, they gave us kind of an origin story for her. Like, her mom... I'm not going to really do any spoilers or anything, but just like the storyline with her mom and her dad, and it felt kind of like unique, you know, something like we haven't really seen in the MCU yet. And there were like so many just so like stupid, funny little scenes that were just remind me of so many classic Marvel scenes. So yeah, that was a good one. And probably my favorite MCU show that I've seen on Disney Plus so far.
I did get around to watching all of it, so.
You did? How do you feel?
I did. I mean, I think it's better than WandaVision and Loki, because, like, those shows made me angry. But, like, I don't know. Hawkeye didn't invoke anything out of me. Like, I think there's some good moments, but, like, personally, I'll let you pick where you want to put Hawkeye. I was just kind of bored throughout it, so. But where would you put it?
I don't think I liked it as much as Shang-Chi, so I'd probably put it on B tier. I'd probably put it right below Mortal Kombat. Or actually, I'd put it above Mortal Kombat. And above Nobody.
And above Nobody?
Yeah, Nobody was good, but it was kind of forgettable. That's the problem with Nobody. It was just a little bit forgettable. I don't know. Like the story could have been. It was just basically Taken mixed with John Wick, and while it was cool to see, it was forgettable.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we have any more room for B tier. I guess.
That sucks because Loki's gotta be tier.
See, I think Loki's F tier.
F tier?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, allow me to explain my case.
Okay.
it kind of pulled a similar move to the Troll Hunters movie. So, like, this is getting into spoilers. The end of Loki, and this isn't my only problem with Loki. I have quite a few problems with Loki, but the main one is the big twist with Kang, and how he's like, oh yeah, I'm actually like controlling everything. So literally everything that has ever happened was predestined, which I'm not a fan of. Like predestinated stuff, like for religions that believe that. I think you're crazy. Yeah. Well, even that, and like it just makes everything in the MCU. It basically means it didn't matter. It's like, oh, Iron Man sacrificed himself. Well, he had to do that. Or even like his character development. It's not because he was trying to be a better person. It was because, well, it was actually what this guy was planning all along and stuff. And then people have been using like that as an excuse for like any problems with any MCU films. They're like, actually, it was just a part of the plan for Kang. This is all his like secret thing. So really, the MCU's perfect. Blah 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 blah. Like really stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think the point of that too was that like they were just opening up the multiverse for us. So while Kang can do that in one universe, you know, we don't even know what timeline or universe that Loki stuff was in. You know, he was on a completely different plane when he found Kang. So, you know, the specific universe of the MCU, did Kang mention that when he went on his rant at all? Like, the specific universe of the MCU or those events?
He basically said, I think it was for that, like, for the MCU, yeah. At the bare minimum, it might have included like other universes, but I'm pretty sure it was just the MCU. Which kind of sucks because that's what the whole movie trilogies are based on. I'm also not a fan of female Loki. Yeah, continuing the pattern of misogynism on this channel, but it wasn't it wasn't even about Loki. It was about it was about Sylvie.
Yeah, it was not what I wanted for a Loki show, honestly. And it was, like, really ugly, I felt like. Like, it looked like we were in these crazy space worlds and stuff.
Yeah.
At the same time, they looked like and felt, like, small and fake.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was, like... I don't know. The characters just did not feel like they were really in the situations that they were in. I don't know. There was something weird about it.
And this is no disrespect. And honestly, with all these Marvel shows, my disrespect doesn't really go to the actors. I think all the actors do a wonderful job. I think Elizabeth Olsen actually killed it in WandaVision. She's like one of the only great things I can praise that movie. I think she won an award for it, which if she did, I think she deserved it. Considering the material she was given, she did a great job.
And Paul Bettany too. I mean, incredible.
Yeah, he also did a great job.
Yeah, killed it. And the kids, I mean, everybody did a pretty good job. I mean, Agatha was all right. She was just kind of a person, but yeah.
Like, well, yeah, even Kate, what's her name? I don't know. Catherine something.
Catherine.
Catherine starts with an H. But like, even though Agatha was just like another generic I want the power bad guy, Catherine so and so, she did a good job.
Yeah,
she gave off. She did like she was pretty similar to how she was in Parks and Rec. So she like honestly, people, my problems with these shows aren't with the actors. It's pretty much my issue with every bad movie. It's always the writing.
Yeah, exactly. The whole storyline of WandaVision was just kind of like. Again, same thing with Loki. It just like wasn't really what we wanted to see.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't even I don't know. They could have done it a lot better if that's what they decided to do, but
Actually, I don't know.
I'd say Loki's
maybe saying F tier. Saying F tier out loud for Loki, that does sound a bit harsh.
I think D tier.
I think lowest D tier.
Mm-hmm.
I'll compromise on that.
I'd say WandaVision is E tier.
You think WandaVision's E tier?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think WandaVision's better than Loki.
D tier, yeah, that D tier is not too bad. That's pretty fair.
I think the rest. Squid Game's the only movie I haven't seen, so or that we've both seen, so we'll just save that for last.
Mhm.
So, all right, tell us about Jungle Cruise.
It was a lot of fun. It was just like it was a cool story. I really liked it. It was just like a good movie, you know. It was kind of like just classic. It felt like just a classic Dwayne Johnson movie in the jungle, while he's acting all goofy and he's got his random cast with him. But then the story was like genuinely pretty cool and interesting, and we saw some really cool locations, some really cool, just like honestly pretty solid CGI and some fun effect. Like he had this pet panther, and there were so many funny scenes just with The Rock and his little like his CGI panther just mobbed around doing whatever. So it just kind of made me feel like a kid watching that movie, and I loved it. I had fun with it, especially with the Disney Plus movies that have came out this year that I've seen. I liked it.
Which tier would you put it?
B tier.
B tier. All right.
We don't have really much space for B tier anymore.
We'll just put it over. I guess where would you put it in B tier? Out of the movies you saw,
I'd put it right above Venom.
Right above Venom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Venom's like being shoved aside. The outcasts. No Time to Die. I think this is where you like your phone died. You were right about to do this one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I passed out during No Time to Die and fell asleep. I don't know if I can give it a fair ranking, but I mean,
that's not. If a movie's good enough, even were you like tired or did you like fall asleep from actual boredom?
I fell asleep, man. I just fell asleep. It was just like, and what I've heard too is just has me heartbroken. So I don't know. I think it's actually.
I mean, if you didn't fall, like unless you stayed up like all night the night before and you had zero sleep or like only like a couple hours and you fell asleep to it, I could see that. But if you because you said you like just fell asleep like because like you just did,
yeah,
then I'd honestly, say that's pretty low because if it was that boring.
From what I know, I like the way that they. From what I know, I like the way that they sent off Daniel Craig's story, and it had some cool action sequences. Daniel Craig is always a masterpiece. I'd probably give it a B tier. I want to be fair to it.
But I think the whole like the fact that you fell asleep during it, regardless of how like it wrapped up, it couldn't keep your attention long enough.
But I was kind of tired, man, and it,
yeah, but even still, I'd say if you couldn't fall asleep, stay awake, I'd say that would be like C tier at highest.
But I fell asleep early within the movie. I'm gonna be fair to it. I don't even want to rank it.
All right, we'll
let's leave it on.
We'll remove it. We'll just remove it.
All right, let's see.
F9. Where'd you put this bad boy?
D tier.
D tier.
D, yeah. Low D tier, bottom of the D tier. It's not very fantastic. It's not much to enjoy there.
Would you even put it E tier? You're thinking about it.
It's better than The Matrix.
Would you say by a lot or just kind of like?
By enough to be, yeah, I think it's fair enough for D tier, for low D tier. For me at least, and that may be some of my biased opinion, but let's give it an E tier. Yeah, let's put it on E tier. Let's be honest.
You're like thinking about it, you're like, in my opinion, I think it kind of disrespects Paul Walker's death, like, since F7 ended pretty well.
I'm like, David, you're not a kid anymore.
It's an E tier
You're a
movie.
man.
Go
You're a
on.
man.
He's gone. He's gone. Nothing you can say or do or watch will ever bring him back.
Hey David, what's race car spelt backwards?
Race car.
Yeah. So if race car spelt backwards is race car, then race car spelled sideways is how Paul Walker died.
Oh yeah, I saw that the other day on the comment section on Instagram. Something. That's so terrible. Yeah, I saw all types of people. Yeah, do you know? Okay, terrible thing that I have to bring light to on this channel. But Paul Walker had the history of being in a relationship with 16, 17-year-old girls while he was in his 30s. I want people to know about it. I want people to know about it because his family does not talk about it. They made a biopic about his life and nobody said anything about it. And even his daughter has posted videos before and she's like, I was uncomfortable, but I wanted to post this video so people could know. And it's just, it's messed up. It's really sad. Yeah. And I think Paul Walker was awesome and everything. But when I heard that, I couldn't because, he knows that's wrong. And I mean, at the very least, if you're going to date a girl, that's that much younger than you, make sure that she's old enough to make that decision legally. I mean, let's not even get started. 18. Like mentally, is she mature enough to make that decision? That's for her to decide, but that's just like, it just seems predatory and that's just terrible.
No, I agree. That's just icky.
I've really F9 is probably gonna have to be a F tier.
F tier.
Yeah, that breaks my heart because that whole thing is just a freaking cash off. Yeah. And I don't want that to taint Paul Walker fans out there because the honest truth is that if Paul Walker is that great of a guy to them and everything like that, they should have been honest about that, and maybe they should have stopped making the movies after he died and just been like, okay, well, we made those movies with him. We're not going to exploit the death of a guy who had a pretty troubling set of choices that he made as a famous person, especially, which is kind of troubling if you look back at the things that famous people have been accused of.
Oh yeah,
over and over. Yeah,
like it's sad to hear that, but I'm not surprised given Hollywood's track record. I mean,
especially around that time.
Yeah, they literally got like at the I love Ricky Gervais, favorite comedian, but like when he hosted the Oscars, whenever
Golden
it was.
Globes. The Golden Globes, yeah.
And he made jokes about like their pedophile friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. They booed him. Oh
man, yeah, they zoomed in on several certain people's faces and they looked those people looked so uncomfortable. We got one more left. What is this?
Good old Squid Games, the game of my people.
I'd say S tier, but probably low S tier. I don't think it's higher than Free Guy. It's definitely not higher than Invincible or No Way Home. So
yeah.
What do you think?
I probably would put it A tier.
A tier?
Yeah. I'd say like mid A tier. I put it over Red Notice, and I put it over Luca. I like Godzilla vs. Kong a little bit more, but
you like Godzilla vs. Kong more?
Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah. Dang, but I thought Squid. I could see that. Yeah.
No, I still really like Squid Game, but like an A tier is by no means a low grade or anything like that.
No, that is a good point. I don't know though.
I think it's just the end. I think it's just the ending for me. Mm-hmm. The twist. It's it's not like horrible. Like I think some people thought it was really bad. I thought it was just kind of like but like it did kind of like didn't make sense because I will now spoil Squid Game in 3, 2, 1, now.
It's his brother.
Well, yeah, the guy, like the guy in the black mask.
That whole plot line was a waste of time. Like they could have made him like I wish they would have set something a little bit crazier up for who that Black Mask guy was, or just not even told us.
Yeah. Also, like, well, even just who was running the games, where it was really just the old man all along.
Yeah. What? Yeah. If it had been the old man all along. Wait.
Well, no, it was. It
wait,
was.
whoa. It was?
Yeah.
It was the old man all along.
Yeah. He was like the super rich guy that was like in charge of all of it.
That's right.
But the reason for doing it was so
that.
stupid. Because he's like, I just wanted friends to play my games with. He's like, you freaking murdered people. And then also how
That's right. That's right. Okay, yeah, just because of the ending, I have to say it's S tier. I loved that ending, man. I loved that twist.
See, I didn't really like it. Like, I don't think
Although
it was
the fact
terrible.
that it was forgettable, the fact that I forgot about the twist is kind of like that's enough. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't make to me. It doesn't make sense because the old guy goes like, he's like, I just wanted friends to play with, and he's like
you may have
but
won,
he literally murdered like over.
Time, Cameron.
Huh?
I said you may have won this time, Cameron.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. That is a good point, though. Yeah.
Well, it's not even that. But then, like later, he's like, do you believe humanity is still good? He's like, I don't. He's like, see that person down there? No one will help him. I'd be like, well, yeah. You're not exactly being a saint either. You're literally you have the blood of over 300 people on your hands. No, over 400.
Yeah. Holy.
Sorry, you don't get to kill 400 over 400 people and be like, there's no more good people in this world.
Wait, what if he reveals that all those people are still alive? Because remember
they're
the organ
definitely dead.
What about remember the organ? Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely dead.
Definitely dead.
Most people don't tend to come back from getting shot in the head. Oi, what happened to you? I got shot in the freaking head. That explains my headache. Well, I'm off to the pub.
Okay, if you think they introduced that twist though, because it could make sense. They set up that organ harvesting plotline thing, and nothing ever came of it. And the second season was planned before they released the first one. So, do you think if that was the planned plotline, do you think that would make you feel a little bit better about the season 1 twist?
The organ donors thing?
Yeah, if the organ donors thing turned out to just be a cover that the people were never dead. No, wait, they were actually taking the organs out of the body.
Yeah, they were taking the organs out and stuff.
They were dead. Yeah, they were dead.
you're like, well, maybe it was this way. Like, no, I'm pretty sure they were all dead.
No, that would probably be twist would make it even worse, if anything.
Yeah, like maybe you got a Wolverine. Maybe you got a Wolverine healing factor, and you can afford to get like your lungs and heart taken out, but I sure don't.
I'm just built different.
I'm a special breed.
I'm adamantium, but at what cost?
old man David.
I'm just depressed. My adamantium is poisoning me. I'm like, yeah, I used to be a badass. Now I just sit here and remember when I was young.
Coming soon to a theaters near you, David. Directed by the same team that did Logan. And it's like you're like all old and you're just depressing and stuff. And then you find like a little
tower. What's that?
You find like a little mini, like a little girl who's like your daughter or something. And you're like,
you're all old and bald. You're my Charles Xavier.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm like freaking out.
You wake up in the middle of the night. My claws are just sitting there over your face. You're like, David?
You're sleeping. You just hear like, you like look over. You just see me like sucking my. I'll bleep that out. I'm like, and you're like, Cameron, no, stop it. You're like, bad boy.
You're like, David, not again.
You put like a dog cone on me. so I can't reach my like ah.
I wake up in the morning. I have a shock collar on. I try to cut it off. My head just falls off with it. You're like, oh my god, I'm never gonna get out of here.
We're just two old senile guys. We're like,
I'm scared. Oh man. Wow.
So
it's funny because if we made that, that'd be better than a lot of the stuff that's on this list, and it's really terrible to say. Because imagine how many millions we could have saved them.
The parody.
You tried, guys.
Instead of, hey guys, could you imagine if instead of Professor Xavier, whenever like he had amnesia and was like causing people's heads to hurt, well, what if instead he was just trying to himself the whole time? Isn't that the movie you really want to see?
Around everyone? They're like, what if instead of having telepathy, every time he was around people, he knew if they had a boner or not?
he just
introducing Cameron Facer as Professor Face Exfacier.
No, instead I have the power to just like make everyone just like start jacking off uncontrollably.
This is definitely going to be demonetized.
My channel's not demonetized. Then they can call me.
Oh, fine, YouTube, take away my 20 cents.
They can call me Professor. Professor Blow. Professor Blow his load.
They just call it the Beast.
Professor Ejactor.
Oh, dude, the rumors that I've been seeing for Multiverse of Madness are crazy, man.
Okay, I did see that with James McAvoy.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Wait, James McAvoy?
There's supposedly footage of James McAvoy and the chick Sophie Turner, and James McAvoy has his head shaved and Sophie Turner has red hair. So there's rumors that the X-Men will come in. So we'll see.
What, dude? I heard that John Krasinski is showing up in this movie
as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, they said he's playing a variant of Mr. Fantastic. So you know Marvel, they're testing it out, and then when people love it, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we have a new Mr. Fantastic."
Fantastic.
Introducing the Fantastic Four. They come out with another dog shit Fantastic Four movie. We're just heartbroken for 10 years again.
I just realized Mr. Fantastic would probably be great to have sex with. I'm just thinking of the Marvel sex items.
That just reminded me of the Mr. Fantastic dildo. Mr. Fantastic dildo.
Think about it. He could go inside a woman as far as he wanted. He could make it any shape. He could fit into any hole.
He said, "Baby, I'll take you to the moon on my rocket ship." Mr. Fantastic just slides in a top hat and a suit. He's like, I can elongate every part of me.
He's like, you want my anaconda to coil around you?
Used to that dance scene from Fantastic Four when he was like got drunk. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
and the old
he's like
one. Oh, thank you, Marvel. Bravo.
Thank you for Marvel for just having
Simple
these characters exist so I can come up with screwed up scenarios they can be in.
Yeah, I don't know why every time superheroes had a chance to be in a sequel, they just went and freaking started dancing and acting out of pocket. But yeah, the 2000s. That's
the 2000s were a wild time.
Dude, that 2000s Hulk movie is just a massive trip. The first one, not the second one. The Angry Hulk. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just remember he punches the dog in the balls in that movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
put that
it's
scene right
unbelievable.
here where he just like rips like the pit bull off his leg and just sucker punches like the dog in the balls, and then it just like lets out this like huge yelp, and then he like just slaps its balls again like into a tree.
It almost is a really good Hulk movie too, except Hulk looks kind of like a lesbian in that movie. And
David,
pull
you're
it up,
offending
pull it
my
up, pull it up for
you're offending my lesbian audience.
pull it up for the people. Make sure you get a picture of that Hulk like edited with like big lips or something. Oh man.
Hold on, I'm pulling it now.
Is that gonna be okay for the cast or no?
I've actually heard. Wait, let me see if I can.
Wait, no. Look up yassified Hulk. Why? Wait, look at this on the far left down there.
Oh, sorry. I can't find any.
Oh, they don't look stereotypical anymore. No, I'm kidding.
They just don't make them like they used to.
Wow, these new editions really look normal. When the new AI comes out.
I can see it right here if I like blow up the face. The haircut. I'll edit it a little. I'll like make like her face a little bit wider. Well, we'll stop now before I offend too many people.
Yeah, wow. But here, speaking of that movie, he's that Eric Bana is going to show up in that movie as well. He's confirmed to show up in this movie as his Hulk, but he's going to be Bruce Banner. Hulk.
Yeah, which is probably a good thing. I don't think we want to see that Hulk and I quote, "Your words, not mine. We don't want to see a lesbian Hulk running around."
Your words, not mine. I think
folks?
Multiverse of Madness. It might be even a step up from No Way Home with how crazy this multiverse stuff is going to get. Because I don't know. I've kind of expected this movie to not be like as big as it seems like they're making it up to be, and that kind of makes me concerned because I think when Marvel hits for the fences, they usually wow, yeah, I've just been impressed with a lot of the crazy stuff that they've done.
Yeah.
So this movie could be really insane, like really nuts.
Yeah. I just hope that they do like I think No Way Home was so good because it wasn't just bringing in all these people from different universes, it was also
good character story.
A good character development. So like I'm afraid that Multiverse of Madness will just have that and not the good character development.
I believe in them though, because even with the little episode that they gave us in No Way or in the What If series, they've shown that like the way that they treat Doctor Strange's character, they take it seriously. You know, like with the way that they did his story, completely faithful to the comic, and just I don't know. I think they're going to continue that theme. I believe in it.
I do have hope because it's going to be directed by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, and I like that they're bringing in America Chavez, which is cool. It's like a more like close to home character that's kind of just gives me hope that this movie isn't going to be just entirely focused on crazy multiverse stuff and more just like characters, you know, trying to figure stuff out, which is what at the end of the day we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
We want to believe we can figure our own lives out. That's why we watch superheroes figure out everybody else's.
Yeah.
You know, saving millions of people so we can at least believe that we could save ourselves.
We look to heroes to see the best of us, and then we look back to the real world and realize how utterly screwed we all are.
That sounds like a quote from Futurama.
I don't know. I've never watched Futurama, so if that is, I did not know.
Well, that is from the wonderful mind of Babyface Cam.
Yep. Cameron, are you a pessimist or an optimist? What do you think? Here's how I'll answer that question. Me, I believe in God. And I look at God and I think to myself, man, how has he not thrown another rock at this earth already with humans on it? As I sure would have a long time ago, but...
Yeah. Wow.
You're
Wow.
like, that got dark. Well, let's end on that. Let's end on that depressing note.
I know. I came in with the inspiring tone, and you're like, you know what? Everything is depressing. I'm like,
You know what? God, just throw the rock and kill us all. Just do
I just
it.
want to take this moment to remind everybody that we're getting a sequel to Into the Spider-Verse this year, and that's really all we needed.
That is true. That's my hope. If that movie's bad, I
I don't know
think
where
I can go on David.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm just counting down the days until I could see Batman in theaters, man. March 26th, which means I can actually see it on the 25th, which is so crazy. I'm so hyped.
Assuming Omnicron doesn't shut everything down.
There's no way they're delaying this movie. I don't believe that. I don't believe it for a second.
You clearly have not been present for the last 2 years then, my friend, have you?
You know what? I've been in a place known as the MCU. It's much better. These with these troubling times.
You haven't been here suffering like the rest of us? You son of a Well, why didn't you bring me there?
You get your ass back here now!
Get back here!
I'm just at Avengers Campus, just chilling with Tony Stark and Spider-Man and animatronics. You appear in one of those portals. You're like, David, I need you to come back. The multiverse is falling apart.
You're like, we must summon we must summon Old Man David. He's the key to all of this, and only you can reach him. And then we just see like I guess more rapid version of me like chewing on my balls in the corner like a dog, like.
Is that the other universe version? We have 6 universe versions of Cameron just appear all at once, like the ending scene. One of them has a Captain Marvel haircut.
If I saw myself with a Captain Marvel haircut, I would commit suicide. I would kill them. Okay,
this is all the female versions of Cameron come out at once.
Black female Cameron.
And fat Asian David comes out.
Fat Asian David. How much do you think fat Asian David would weigh? Wonton.
I mean, he's got to be useful, so a wonton.
Honestly, yeah. I'll probably just like bleep most of this out.
Oh wow, this is something. Yeah, prepare yourselves, folks, for a wild 2022. Because if we're coming to these podcasts disappointed, we might just lay into a few people.
We're equal opportunity offenders. We hate everyone equally.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, that's my mentality. Make fun of everyone.
From J.J. Abrams' grubby little hands to Captain Marvel's atrocious haircut.
To the lesbian Hulk.
To the lesbian Hulk.
I'm gonna make a thumbnail well, let's wrap this up. You and I could keep talking, but
yeah.
Thanks for joining, everyone. David, you want to plug your social medias?
Folks, thanks for coming down tonight. Just I mostly use Instagram, so just follow me at ZAYVID, ZAYVID on Instagram, and hope you enjoyed.
Yep. All right, everyone. Take care and stay safe. And spank that like and subscribe button because they've been dirty little girls. So
And
get
remember,
to
don't
that.
repeat what you heard tonight to your parents.
Remember, kids, don't say the words I'm about to say. What the